Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Kristen Crumpler, and this is Musical Mind Games, powered by Classical Public Radio, WDAV. Musical Mind Games, otherwise known as MMG, is a live stream where we geek out about music and gaming and the cool audio-visual experience that ensues when the two combine. So if any of that interests you, please consider subscribing to the WDAV YouTube channel, where you can get notifications of when we go live and stream again, whether it be MMG or all our different classical or music happenings on our channel. But please consider subscribing to the WDAV YouTube channel. It's free, and the little subscribe button is down below. I want to thank you all so much for joining tonight's stream. I think this one is gonna be a fun one that we have in store. I'm so happy to have you all here. If ways you can interact with the stream, you can interact by typing in the chat. There's an in-stream chat if you're watching this live that you can type into and communicate with me and the other chatters. You can chat there, or if you don't feel like chatting, you don't have to. You can just sit back and use MMG as like a podcast while you're getting other things done in your day. So there's multiple ways to watch and enjoy and engage in the stream, especially even if this isn't live for you. If you're watching the past live stream, hey, what's up? Thank you for watching, and you're still a part of the crew and community, so I hope you enjoy this stream that we have tonight. Those are the different ways that you can engage and stream tonight. Oh, there you are, Tamberly. Like a shining beacon. Hello, Tamberly. Tamberly is providing an example of one of the ways you can interact in our stream tonight. Alrighty, so since we have a stream, let's just get right into what we're gonna be doing today, or telling you what we're gonna be doing today, and that's gonna be Project Sekai. It may sound like an unfamiliar title, maybe to a lot of you viewers, but for those of you who are familiar with hearing that, it's gonna be a sweet, sweet familiarity. But we are going to be looking at the game Project Sekai Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, and let us know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this after the stream is already live, if you've heard of the game before, whether it be Project Sekai Colorful Stage, or if you've heard the name Hatsune Miku before. Let us know in the chat if you heard it or if you hadn't heard it, and whether you're curious or not to learn more about it. Because I'm gonna fill you in just a little bit in brief about what these things are, but we are going to be playing the mobile app game, which is free to download and play, by the way. Not sponsored. It is just a really fun game that we're playing today, but it's free. It's a mobile app game, and we're going to be looking at it. Project Sekai Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, that is the name. And also, interestingly enough, during mid-April, a movie came out related to the game. So, if you've seen the movie, it was a limited release, by the way. If you've seen the movie, I think it's called A Miku Who Can't Sing. Let us know in the chat as well if you were one of the lucky ones to catch it while it was screening in the US. I tried to see it, but I missed it. I didn't get a chance, but who knows? Maybe when it pops up again, then I'll get a chance to see it. But let us know if you knew about the movie that came out with the game. So with Project Sekai, the things that I specifically want to focus on in this stream tonight is I want to give you a general introduction to the game, both in a little bit of like the details with the game and also the world it's in and the setting, and introduce you to the game style, as well as, while playing the game, showcasing some of the intersections that I found between skills musicians have and the skills used for this game. And there are some pretty cool connections, some that you might not have even guessed. This is a rhythm game, but there are, I feel like, even deeper connections than it just being rhythm based. At least that's what I picked up in my experience playing this game, and I want to share that with you all and hear any of the connections or similarities or differences that you see in this game as well. Whether this is your first time watching it tonight or you are a seasoned pro Sekai, that's the nickname for Project Sekai players, whether you're a seasoned pro Sekai player or not. So we're going to be focusing on those two things. I'm going to give a general introduction of what this game is like, and then I'm going to showcase some of the things that I've picked up, the intersections between music and gaming inside of it. So, talking all this talk about background, about what the game is, well, and what Hatsune Miku is, you might not be familiar when I say that, or what you're in store of when I say Hatsune Miku. So for those of you who aren't aware, Hatsune Miku is a Vocaloid software voice bank developed by Krypton Future Media. And this voice bank, or Miku's creation, was in 2007. So she's been around for a long while, and Vocaloid, very early before all this like recent talk of artificial intelligence. Miku's not artificial intelligent, but she's like a computer generated voice, like very early on, like I said, 2007. So this is like a computer generated singer, and it's pretty cool to see that. It was in its early stage, it was very, kind of primitive, but as it's gone on, like we're in 2025 now, some of the different Vocaloid softwares, because it's not just Miku. Miku is like one of the, I don't think she's the first. I'm still learning my Vocaloid history. So if any of you all know Vocaloid a little bit more than me, I'm willing to learn. But I don't think she was one of the first, but she was one of the first popular Vocaloid voice banks. And it's just, but there are many other ones, as you'll see when we play the game, other Vocaloid characters and voices that get used to make an artificial singing sound as well. So that's kind of Vocaloid. With Hatsune Miku, by the way, I said her. You'll normally see her depicted as a teenage girl with long turquoise twin tails. So, you see like the two long twin tails coming out of her head. And I sometimes know her to appear with a little spring onion in her hand, or like a scallion in her hand. And this is mainly a Japanese creation. So, for all you people who are interested in the arts and culture with Japan, you may be familiar with some of these things already. So, and you'll see more of what I mean by Hatsune Miku's visual appearance when we get into the game. So, that's kind of what she is. Very generally, that's what she is, it's what she looks like. And I believe the first time I got introduced to Miku was through Flipnote Hatna, which that's its own stream that we should talk about. But Flipnote Hatna, I can't remember how you pronounce it. It was like a thing on the Nintendo DSi, where you know how if you got like a stack of sticky notes, like a physical sticky notes, you could flip book through it and animate things. Well, they basically did a digital version of that on a handheld system, and so the community there really cross genres in terms of doing all these cool things with animation. And I remember seeing Miku come up a lot on the different Flipnote animations that they had on there. So that was one of my early introductions to her, as well as early reaction videos on YouTube. So that was when I started to be like, oh, I know this character. Oh, this person is called, or this character is called Miku. So that's kind of how I first came about to learning about what Hatsune Miku is, or who Hatsune Miku is. Now, very brief history of the app we're about to play, Project Sekai Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage. It's an app that was released in Japan so it had two releases. It had a Japanese release and a global release. So it first got released in Japan in September 2020, and then it later got released globally in December 2021. And so this game, it kind of follows 5 different musical groups comprised of Japanese school kids with their interactions with Hatsune Miku's world, and hence the name Sekai, meaning world in Japanese. So, you know, it's when you say Project Sekai, it's kind of like Project World. So you get to see all the different groups which span different musical genres, and you'll really notice when we start playing the songs in the game, they create their own little worlds, their own little sekais within the game. And one of the things that I want to make clear is that some people play the game Project Sekai for the story, and others, like me, mainly play it for the rhythm game aspect. I mean, I read some of the stories. There's a lot of stories. There's like virtual shows that you can see too. But I, being the music person I am, most of the time that I spend there or distribute there is in the rhythm gameplay section of the app. So, yeah, and I guess you kind of see what I mean about why I like staying there. But I venture out into others, but you'll see why I like staying there and there in that part of the game. And also my friend introduced me to this game in like 2023. And so while I was late to the punch in getting to, I guess in terms of the global release, figuring out what this app game was, once I got introduced to it, I've been playing it ever since. I've literally been playing it ever since. It's only just recently that I took a break on it because I was getting frustrated with one of the features in the game that didn't have to do with the rhythm section. But I've since kind of come back to the game. So that's a lot of preemptive talk about the game. Hopefully I've kind of whetted your curiosity and got you hyped up about what this game actually is. And Kristen, let's get to it. So let's actually do that. Let's start playing some of Project Sekai. So let's fade out the sound stripe music so we can fully zone in on what we have to do with Hatsune Miku. Alrighty. There we go! It's already up. I had the game up just playing in the background. Let me know how the levels sound, if I'm too quiet or if the game's too quiet, because I can adjust that while we're streaming. But I think you should be able to hear everything well. Here, it's already, this is the title screen, and it already has like fun music to start you off with. Oh, I love this game so much. Alright, I could babble on and on about the things I love about this game, but I'm gonna do it while playing it so that we can make good use of the time that we have here. Alright, let's get into it. Oh, and for those of you who are already familiar with Project Sekai, whether or not, you're curious about this. Oh, this is I'll get... That was one of the other sections of the game. They have like a lottery type of thing, but it's called like gacha, I believe in Japanese, where you can kind of like, it's kind of like the in-game casino. You can do that for free, but there's also a paid thing, but I'm normally free to play. I don't like to pay for app games if I can try not to. But that's one of the things we'll get into a little bit later. But like I was about to say, for those of you who are already familiar with the game and are curious about detail, I am a thumb player. I play with my thumbs because I normally play this on the phone. I don't have the real estate to use my index fingers and play this game. So I'm a thumb player. I know that kind of prevents me from playing certain modes like the append feature or, What's Up Pop and some of those other ones. but I do as much as I can with my 2 thumbs. So I am a thumb player when it comes to Project Sekai, and I'm a casual that likes to sweat at some times. And by sweat I mean like go kind of hardcore, try to be a little bit competitive, but doesn't go that hard to be competitive if I can't get it. So I err between casual and a wannabe pro. Or wannabe semi-pro, or let's say competitive for this game. So this is the game. It has little characters, all these different things that you can click on. This is one of the worlds. And when I was talking about Sekai, this is like the normal human world right here, but if you tap to Sekai, you'll get to see these are the different worlds. Sekai is based on the different musical groups and kind of the happenings going on with them. And so it's all spread out like that. So, well, there's lots of things to this game, but I really want to get you into the music part of it. One last thing before we pick this up. Oh, this right here, like this is another one of the Vocaloid characters visually depicted. His name is Kagemine Ren, and he's a twin, so his twin sister Kagemine Rin, you'll see her as well at other times. But yeah, this is one of the other popular Vocaloid characters that has a voice bank and that people use to create music songs with it as well. So, you know, I highly encourage you all to look a little bit more on Vocaloid history, because I'm still learning. I have a friend that's teaching me, and I'm learning just by playing this game. And even if, while this being in Japanese, if you don't understand everything that they're saying, because some of these songs have lyrics and melodies, sometimes you can, it's just hearing the music itself. You can still relate and get like excited and engaged in it just by hearing the genre and the type of mood and the energy associated with it, and just getting like a rough understanding of what the theme of the music is. So when I joined the game, I didn't see it as a barrier at all. I was looking for more expressions of music, and this kind of just fit the bill for me when my friend introduced it to me. So the one major thing that I wanted to show you before we got into the game is that there's lots of intricacies to this. me knowing a lot of this stuff but not being like all knowing of this game, I'm trying to figure out what's the best things to show you all. But the main thing I want to show you is that this rhythm game, you can get assistance with it. Like part of the aspect of it is the teams that you build. So this is like one out of the 10 teams that I've built for myself with the different characters. Like here's another character right here, Kaito. He's another Vocaloid character, labeled as virtual singer. You'll see that. And the last 3 you'll see here are the Japanese kids that are part of the musical group. But what I'm trying to get at is if you look down here where I'm tapping and it says like skill, score plus 110% for perfect taps for 5 seconds. Or if I go to another one right here, not this one. This one, good or better taps change to perfect taps for 6.5 seconds and score plus 60% for 5 seconds. The different characters you get through gacha, which was, like I said, the lottery feature in the game, have different skills that can help you to not be late at your rhythm. So like this card is called a perfect blocker, which allows you to kind of continue on better with a better score without losing your combo in the game. And the first one I showed you helps to get you a better score. So it's called a scorer card. So some of these some of the performance, if you see me or somebody else play, some of it, depending on their team, can be purely just from the person's skill, or it can be assisted by what cards they have in their loadout. So right now, I have one that's kind of like, I have a scorer one, a healing one, so, you know, when it used to be, up until recently for the global, if you reach 0, you couldn't continue a chart a chart is called the songs in this game. You couldn't continue a chart if you were doing a solo mode. And so, you know, you'd have to retry and stuff like that. But with the life recovery ones, it helps you to recover that life so that you didn't reach 0 and that, you know, you gain some life in between the shows if you lost some. So I have a life one here. I have another perfect blocker here where it helps me to, if I'm late or early tapping, it just registers as perfect in terms of the accuracy. And so I have one of those cards, and as you saw, this one was another one of that. And this one is another scorer card. So I kind of have like, I have a decent distribution for this time around. I probably could have put more healer cards since I'm starting back up again from like my 3-month break on this game. But you know, I feel like it's a decent distribution. I did practice a little bit before this stream because I didn't want to be totally fish out of water. But all this talk about playing the game, let me show you the actual gameplay. So we're gonna go into solo shows. Co-op show is where you play online with others. And if you see, these are the libraries of the different songs and charts. I have a ton. There are some that I bought just recently with, you know, like little point items, not real money, that you know, I purchased from the music shop within the store. But I haven't played some of them yet, so I'm gonna play them tonight. But the one that I want to start off with, which is the one that it usually starts off, let's see. There we go. When it's usually your first time playing this game, it starts you off with Tell Your World. As you can see, so you have, well, before, for a long while, there were only 5 different difficulties, but now you've got 6 append, which is like you play with 4 fingers, yeah, you play with 4 fingers. Usually if you're an index player, you're playing like this. Sometimes you can use just one hand, but that's what append is. We're gonna ignore append today. But it started out with these 5 difficulties, and I'm so thankful that even though I'm a rhythm person, that my friends started me out on the hard difficulties. Because easy and normal, I think even for the non-musically inclined, is maybe just like, it's maybe too easy, but it really depends on, you know, what's your strength in terms of rhythm and getting into the game and being adjusted to it. So I'm gonna play this game, I'm gonna play this song 3 different times so you can see the different ways the chart, the rhythm is shown in the gameplay. And then we'll talk more about some of the musical intersections that I've seen in this game by showing this chart as an example. So let's get into hard mode. It's level 16. We'll play for like an hour. So we'll probably finish up around 7:30 in terms of gameplay. So that incentivizes me to just get a start on this. So let's go. Tell Your World, sung by Hatsune Miku. You can already hear in the preview that she was singing. So let's listen to this. Let's play the chart. Alrighty. You can hear the piano, and that being visualized in the rhythm here. Combo, so I didn't break my combo at all. And so let's see our score. Let's see how it pops up. Show clear. I got a score of A. I got only 2 grades, and it showed me where I need to improve, so I was late on 2 of my taps. New record for the hard difficulty. Alrighty. I used to try to talk while playing this game, but I've swiftly realized that in order for me to progress, I have to be quiet and zone in on the chart that I'm playing. So when I can, if I can, I will speak while I'm playing, but I also feel like it's a better experience for you as well if while I'm playing the song, you can hear the song and try to parse out the different elements rhythmically it's trying to emulate in its gameplay. So it's pretty neat, and then we get little rewards for doing it, and we level up our characters each time we go. And so yeah, we're going to go back to song select. Actually, we're going to go here so we don't have to hear the song repeat over and over. And this is another thing. You can spend energy to get more rewards using the little batteries. So I for this exact stream, I saved up some energy so that I could use it and make it worthwhile while playing tonight. So I'm gonna have a whole truckload of energy while we're playing, trying to get a lot of rewards. But yeah, so for the hard difficulty, you could see some of the rhythms being depicted in the actual gameplay. If this is your first time seeing like a game kind of visually depicted like this sometimes can make your eyes go like, whoa, because it's maybe really fast. Like I have it at a note speed of 11, but I started out with like a note speed of 9, which is a lot slower. It helped me to acclimate to like, you know, how to tap and then what the game was doing in terms of like those green bars, which were the sliders, and all those different colored notes and things. You know, this game is kind of similar to other musical app games, and not just app games, but also other musical games in general, rhythm games, if you've had experience with it. Like I know there are some piano keyboard apps that came out. I don't know if they're still existing, but came out, you know, like in the 2010s. that were kind of similar in such that you needed to press the notes as they appeared on screen, but sometimes rhythm wasn't always a factor in terms of, like, sometimes it would wait for you to press it and you kind of set the rhythm rather than you trying to match the rhythm of the song and the notes that were coming on the screen, the bars that were coming on the screen. So it's all understandable if you see this and you're like, I don't understand at all what is going on right now. I encourage you to look at this and try to, at least for tonight's stream, try to look at it and listen to the music and try to see where, try to hear and see where the rhythm is being placed in the music in a visual sense for the gameplay, because that'll help you to get better, like, acquainted with what they're trying to throw at you. So let me show you the expert level to see how they incorporate some of the other rhythms heard within the song. Some of the ones you probably didn't hear in hard mode, but now you have to pay attention to because the gameplay is now prioritizing those rhythms as well as some of the other ones from the hard difficulty. So let's do this. Like I said, note speed 11. This is the expert one. This is my default difficulty sometimes if I'm just starting out something. I'm doing it on expert, and then we'll talk about master afterwards. All right, here we go. Already more involved. Up that rhythm there at the end. See, I didn't get a full combo this time around. And again, for those of you who haven't heard Miku's voice before, let us know how you feel about hearing Vocaloid music. Is it something totally new for you? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Why don't you like it? Why do you like it? We'd like to know. Tell us in the chat or in the comments. Alrighty. That's the score, and see, I got more rewards because I used the energy. Alright, and even my team leveled up a little bit. Alright. So you'll see this more as we play this game tonight. But one of the main things that, like, I don't know, I find a lot of by the skills that I use while learning the violin and piano that I used there can be attributed to playing this game. And some of it you may be able to see and understand and point out without me even pointing out, but there are some that, you may not think about the connection until I say it. Like sight reading. Sight reading, having to do that in orchestra, or even for a piano piece, or learning a new piece in general as a musician, I find the skills that I used for there help so much here, because each song, has different rhythms, and the different charts, they have a different range of difficulties. Like the Tell Your World that we did, I think that was like level 22 and expert, but there are like level 29 and 30 songs in expert, and that rhythm is going to be wildly different and more difficult with that increased range. And so there are things you're going to have to pull from these more fundamental charts, like these lower level charts, to help you be able to accomplish and complete those more difficult ones. So it's like understanding, so just like when you're sight reading a piece, like for me, I'll say if I'm sight reading a violin piece for the first time, I want to be familiar with what notes are on the page, what rhythms are being displayed to me, what clef is it? Is it in treble clef, or is it in bass clef, or alto clef? If it's an alto clef or bass clef, I'm usually not used to seeing that because I'm a violinist, so I'm looking for making sure that the treble clef is a treble clef. I'm looking for the key signature to see, what key are we gonna be in, and if there are any pitch changes, within the selection of the music that I have to sight read, and whether or not there are any tricky rhythms or reappearing rhythms or something like that, or melodic phrases. And all of those skills like that, I find myself pulling over and integrating into my gameplay here. It helps me to kind of keep that thinking well practiced for me by playing this game. Even though it may not be one-to-one, those same skills are being used in this game, and it helps me to continue to be engaged and keep those skills well-oiled, like a well-oiled machine. So I'm looking like those long green bars. I don't, while I'm playing it, consider it as whole notes, but I feel it the same way I do when I come across like a whole note, or maybe like a slur or something like that in or a tied note in music, in regular music that, sheet music you may be used to seeing, music theory. And so I know that when a long green bar is approaching, that I have to hold my thumb or my finger, whatever I'm using, on that note, and also be mindful of when I release. Because as you saw with the late and early perfect scale, that it doesn't just matter when you tap on the note, it also matters that you're accurate about the duration as well. So that's another thing where I see note duration here and note duration in classical music being a similarity there. So I have to pay attention of when I have to lift off my thumb, because I can't just have it on there and not let go. I have to be kind of precise with my rhythm. As you saw, there were different colored notes, like a regular note in Project Sekai in its gameplay is like gray, but then like I said, you have the green held bars, and then you have the pink notes, which are notoriously called in the community, they're flick notes. So you have to, if you're playing with an index finger, you flick with an index finger, or if you're playing with your thumbs, you flick with your thumb, in the, well, first off, you want to flick first, but as it gets harder, like I said, in those level 26 or 27, 29 expert level charts, it's going to ask you to flick in a certain direction as well. So not just to flick up, but flick in a certain direction, whether it be left, right, or up. that it wants you to go. So it's paying attention to that and knowing that when pink notes show up, that it's going to require me to do that. So that's kind of another level of sight reading. So when I get to those harder things, I know, okay, if I don't know what this chart is going to give me, I can go back to the foundations and principles of Project Sekai, knowing that green long bars are held notes and that pink ones are flicks. And so when I see that, I can latch on to that and latch on to what it's giving to me, so that I can kind of make it through the chart as best as I can if this is my first time seeing it. And that's kind of like when you're sight reading music, you want to have a good foundation of music or what to expect in music, so that when it's time to play new things, you know, because we're not always going to play the same things, you know, we need to be exposed to lots of different varieties of musical experiences. So when it comes to playing those new pieces, we need to have those foundations, those good solid musical foundations that we learned, to be able to tackle some of them, because the difficulty could be largely increased compared to things you've encountered before. But you want to be prepared by knowing what are the familiar things to, be approached by. One of the other things that I look out for when I'm sight reading a chart in Project Sekai is the gold notes. Gold notes can notate, that you are flicking and you're holding a bar, or if it's a regular tap as well. So it can notate all of those different experiences, even though it doesn't give the color of a green bar or a pink flick note or a regular gray press note, tapping note. You still have to do those functions. But the thing is, when I see a gold note, at least how I've come to associate it while I play the game, especially when the gameplay didn't let you go past and continue and finish the song after your life points hit 0. Those gold bars, they either help you to multiply your score more, or if you miss it, it's going to negatively impact your score and your health and your combo more within the game. So when I was playing this and it wouldn't, it would end the chart if you reached life point 0, I would try to do really well. I try to anchor down on those gold notes, because it's really important. If you want to get through a song, on top of everything, you want to make sure you're not missing those gold notes, because if you miss them, it's gonna hurt a lot more than if you miss just a regular green bar or a regular tap note or a regular flick note. So gold notes are really important to tap on. So those are some of the things, the musical connections that I've kind of experienced or put together with my musical experience playing violin and piano, and while playing this game. That's the connections that I've made and formed. And I would really like to see other musicians play this game and see if, they can pick up on some of the similarities in terms of the crossover of skill and, how quickly or how slowly it takes for them to pick up the game. Because I tell you, even though I had played a long while in terms of violin and piano, music in general, prior to playing this game, I still had a learning curve, because I was trying to learn what the game was asking of me, and trying to put what I know already with music and rhythm into a type of sense with my thumbs. It wasn't just here playing the violin, but I had to put it all down to my thumbs. And in ways, it almost felt a little bit like when I was playing the piano. Obviously, it's not a one-to-one experience because I'm using just my 2 thumbs instead of my 10 fingers. But some of it, kind of the approach to it, I found similar. So, there's more talking to be had, but I do want to show you the master difficulty for Tell Your World. So you've heard the hard, you've heard and seen the hard difficulty, you've heard and seen the expert difficulty. Master, I used to hate Master because at first I didn't understand it and it felt like it was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at you. But now that I've gotten better with Master difficulty, I can hear some of the rhythms that it's asking for me to play. Some of them are within the song, but if you have that kind of like tambourine chime that I have while playing, and you'll notice it when I'm tapping, I realized by having that on, sometimes those rhythms aren't apparent in the songs, but just by you tapping, you're adding rhythm to the song. And so master difficulty, it's a kind of about reaching that complexity of not just matching the rhythm that's in there, but also in a sense adding to, you know, words. You're adding to it and giving a different variation or another arrangement of the rhythm to this song that you're playing. So I could talk about it more, but I'm going to show you. So listen in and see if you can pick up some of those things that I mentioned while I play it. It's been a while since I've done Master, but this is an easy one. This is the second to easiest one. So I should at least be able to clear it, but no promises. Alright, level 26 Master. Let's get into it. Alrighty. Let's see. Tell Your World Master. Alrighty. Oh my god, I'm already... He is already asking more complex tapping patterns. Your World. Oh, it's such a it's just such a familiar song to play. All right, so that was Master Mode with that. So hopefully some of the things I was talking about made itself apparent after I played it. So let's look for some more songs to play. Let me see about showing you a harder expert difficulty song before having the music loop in our ears. One of the things, like with obviously for all our musicians out there who may be watching, When you're learning when you learn new pieces, sometimes when you're just starting out as a, musician learning an instrument, or, you're learning a new skill, as you're higher up and more complex in your learning, certain pieces can teach you different techniques. So as you can see, some of those patterns that I got required me to tap at the same time, or to kind of like tap across the screen and such, and in different patterns. And so same thing, like when we approach our different pieces sometimes are there to teach us a different technical skill in our musical ability, playing our instrument and such. So there are charts here that the community, and sometimes in my own experience, I recognize as, okay, this chart is trying to teach me how to be better at like staircase rhythms, where it's like, it's staircased and kind of dominoed out from left to right. So, you have some of those with that. And then you have the charts that are specifically trying to help you get better at the like tapping sequences and such like that are very repetitive. And so I want to see if I can pull out one of those charts that it's like trying to help you practice a certain rhythm. Let's see. Okay, this one's a fun one. This is no longer the Vocaloid. This is like the Japanese kids singing it. You can see, if you see vocals, Akito Shinome and Toya Aoyagi. So they are the ones singing the songs. Those are real human people singing it, not the voice software, the Vocaloid voice software. So let's play this, but this one, you can already kind of hear it in the rhythm. It's gonna require me to get better at the tapping rhythm. So let's just play expert version of it to start off with that. We'll get back to master at some point, but for right now, we're gonna live in expert world. So, all right, expert, oh no beats. Alrighty. See, that's the rhythm that I was talking about. So I kind of see this chart as trying to get you more familiar with that rhythm, and that was the staircase that we just kind of passed by. As you can see, I'm still, even though I got a full combo, I still get like anxious when those staircase rhythms come up, because this is why there are two different, or at least two main different ways of playing this game. Index and thumbs. If you do your index, you have more mobility across whatever device you're playing on. But if you're using your thumbs, you're resorted to how far your thumbs can extend within this width, and not just out but also in. So, you know, doing the staircases as a thumb player for me is it's kind of difficult still, you know, but before I took my break, I was getting better with it. I was kind of getting past my threshold and starting to get a little bit more mobility, even though I was playing with my thumbs. So, hopefully you saw what I meant about that one teaching the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da rhythm. Let's find another chart to play. Maybe get a little higher so we're in the lower level one. Okay. There are some fun ones that I like in terms of song-wise. So, I really like this song, PH. I think this is another Vocaloid singer, Flower. This song, I just love it so much. By the way, I love the covers that go along with it too, because while people say don't judge a book by its cover, the covers kind of help me to kind of fit, like, imagine like a world or like an anime or cartoon that goes along with the music that I hear. So this feels very like steampunky, mechanical, electronic to me. And I like it. And so that's one of the reasons why I keep going back to it, because it sounds so cool. And now, is it related to the song, this lyrics? Probably not. But that's just my first initial approach and experience with it. And, you know, sometimes if that's what you need initially to latch on to a type of music that you hear, use that for now, and then dive deeper into what the piece that you love or you're listening to is about, you know? Continue that curiosity, continue to explore. So, let's play PH at level 24. I have done this on Master before, but again, I said 3 months break, and I don't think I would be good doing this one. Okay, so, let's play this one. Alright. Alright. Let me know if you like this song. fun. And I tell you, when you are at the point where you can play it on Master, it gets even more fun this chart. So that's one of the incentives. Like when I started to like songs and then started to get like understimulated by the difficulty in expert, the master difficulty was taunting me, and it was more enticing to increase my skills so that I could play that and play a more fully fleshed out rhythm experience by getting to that level in each chart. So that was one of the things, the motivation, it just pushed me to playing difficult levels, and yeah, more difficult levels. So that's another thing that in my experience with playing with the game. Well, let's see. Oh, and one of the things I want to mention, so I mentioned, I think, throughout the different parts of this stream already, that I've kind of, I just came off of like a 3-month-ish break of this game. And just like not playing your instrument, you can be very rocky and rusty getting back into it. I found that there was a point where I almost played this thing every day, and that's not exaggeration. I would be like, get work done, wake up, take care of myself, get work done, and then at some point in the day, Project Set Guy. Wouldn't be on there for hours, but as you see, you have energy and stuff like that, and they give you energy each day, or it refreshes each day. So I'd get on there and I say I'd do just enough just to complete the energy that it gave me for free. But going back to that almost every day, basically, and continuously, experimenting with higher level songs and stuff like that, it helped me to increase my skill on it, so that when it got to those master levels, I was kind of surprised that I was playing them, and that, my skill got that good at playing the game and such like that. And so that's kind of like, that's why practice is important with music and other things that you want to learn, other passions and hobbies and such like that, or careers. But with music, what I'm trying to make here is the musical connection. It's also important to practice here too. You can see this in this game, but it's also really important when you're playing an instrument to have that frequent and regular practice, because there is kind of a dip box. I mean, allow yourself some time to recoup. Your life can't be 100% playing all the time. You have to allow breaks for you to come back and sometimes be better after a break. But it's having that regular going back to it just enough so that your skills don't get rusty. That's important if you're trying to play an instrument and progress. So it was doing this that I was like, it reminded me again about the importance and the results of practicing. So practicing is important as well. So we don't have much time left, so I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do 3 more songs. We're gonna try to do 3 more songs. So right now, the next song that I'm gonna play is one of the new ones that I got that I don't know what it's like, but I'm gonna show you how I sight read a chart and see how my Project Sekai team helps me out. And then after that, we're gonna play some harder difficulty expert songs. Yeah, we're just gonna live in expert land for tonight in terms of Project Sekai, but maybe we'll return to master. Maybe you'll see me get my chops back up to the master level, in a future Pro Sekai stream. But yeah, let's see one of the new songs. Oh, I love PH so much. The music sounds so much fun, and the vocal melody of it sounds really fun too. Okay, so not cleared. These are the new songs I've never played before. Obviously, with some of the higher level ones you saw, level 31, 30, and stuff like that. That's That's not happening tonight, and probably won't be happening for me in a long while. But, and also Bad Apple, the one that we're hearing right now, is a very staple Vocaloid song, but I'm gonna play that on my own. I'm gonna play one of these two here. Ooh, I feel tempted to play both of them instead of just the one. Okay, let's start with 26. And just like practice is important, warming up, I found, with this game is important too. So that's why we started with the easy stuff, so that my fingers are already kind of like used to what it needs to do to play this game whenever I jump on. So now, hopefully, I'm somewhat good at these higher level songs. So I think we're gonna do both the 26 level and the 28 level. So this is Help Me Eden! Alright, and this is sung by Meiko, Ruka, Kaito, Len, I believe, Miku, and Ren. So I think the whole Vocaloid crew is singing this one. Oh, I don't think Ren is in there. I don't think I saw Ren, but I saw Len in there. Alrighty. Okay, let's see how this one fares. This is a level 26. Alrighty. Showtime.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
There. Oh my god! Oh my god! You hear the call and response? Yelling out everybody's name. Oh my gosh, I had to like lock in for that. Oh my gosh. Wow. That was fun. That was fun. Wow. So, yeah, that was my first time playing that chart and it was pretty fun, but there were some things I didn't get all the rhythms. Like I said, it's show clear. I didn't get a full combo. Oh, but I got rewards for it. One of the things I wanted to note that I was thinking about while playing, but I could not say while we were doing it, is similar to when you're sight reading a piece, let's say, in not just a solo setting, but like let's say in an orchestral setting when you're playing with a group. Sometimes if you miss a rhythm, sometimes if you're trying to play through with the group setting and you can't go back in it like practice, you have to not be too like um, you you can't go back and redo it. You can't be so bent and focused on trying to go back and get that rhythm or that note that you missed. You have to continue on. And by not allowing yourself to be caught up in the things that you missed, rhythms or pitch-wise, in playing the piece in a group setting, for the example, you know, it helps you to at least consistently stay in the rhythm, in the tempo, in the groove and mood of the music that you're playing in that moment. Because if you let yourself get sidetracked and tripped up by all the things you miss, you're gonna miss more of what's in front of you. So, you know, I was recognizing while I was playing Project Sekai in this chart right now that I had missed some things, but I didn't let myself get attached or too caught up on what I missed so that I could continue on and be focused about being ready for the next new rhythms or, you know, reoccurring patterns, repeating patterns that were gonna come up. So I kind of guarded myself for that so that I could be prepared for that, and I made sure I kept the tempo even though I messed up some rhythms and missed something. So that's also important here while you're playing a chart, and even more so sometimes when you're playing the co-op version, the multiplayer version of this game. Alrighty. My hands are starting to kind of... I don't want to overdo it. Okay, maybe I'll save this one for another stream. Because I'm hearing the fast electronic beats, you know, and dance beats, and I am kind of like, I'm not sure if my wrists can, you know, handle it right now. So I'm going to go back with my original plan and play some two other songs. So a neat thing that I wanted to show you that some of the charts in this thing incorporate is the fluctuation of rhythm. Some of these charts, they fluctuate in their rhythm, and it's such a cool thing. Like you can actually literally hear and sometimes see it slow down. So I think this is one of them where it might do that. I'm not sure, I can't remember. And if not, in our next Pro Sekai stream, I'll make sure I have an example of one of the ones where the tempo fluctuates. So we're gonna do this one. This is a level 27. So this is one higher than the one we just did. Circus Panic. And I believe this is just Hatsune Miku. So let's do this one. Alrighty. This is another fun one to listen to. It sounds like electro swing, and I love electro swing. You hear that? Like, it's the old, like, 20s or 40s vibes. Very funky and playful. Saxophone or brass. Messing up with some of these harder rhythms. Whew. this. The tempo fluctuation. Oh my gosh. In one of these future streams, I'm gonna have a camera on my hands so you all can see what my thumbs are doing across this small screen. Oh my gosh, but it's so much fun to play. Alrighty. And we're gonna end off with one more song. And this was the song that locked me in to playing this game. Once I heard this song, it was like, okay, well, you know, the rest of your free time hours are gonna be dedicated to this now. Because it was just so much fun, and it had a catchy melody, but it was also very difficult. The level that I'm playing it now is certainly not the level that I played it at when I was first introduced to it. And hopefully I can get through it now. My wrists are hurting just a little bit, but I think I can still get through it. It's going to be, I think it's a level 27. It's gotta be one of these ones. There it is! Tondemo Wonders. Tondemo Wonders. This is by the Wonderland Showtime team. Yep, this is, and they're called Sekai version. So this is all of them singing along with some of the Vocaloid singers. So this is expert level 27. It's so much fun, and it has like a very musical theater, hype, happy sound to it. But rather than me just explaining it, I want you to hear for yourselves. So let's get right into it. All right. Oh, this is a favorite of mine. I really do love this one. All right, here we go. Tondemo Wonders. Okay. Mate. I made it through the end. I remember there was a time where I didn't think I could complete that song. And I think at some point I full comboed this. Coming off of a 3-month break, knew it wasn't possible today. But at least I cleared it. And I'm pretty happy about that. Did I? Did I not? I didn't! I still have a goal to achieve. Apparently, I didn't full combo this. Okay. Well, that'll be for another time for me. Gonna have to full combo Tone Demo Wonders, but I might have been like one away or two away, very close to full comboing it at some point when I last did it. But it is, it requires a lot of technical abilities, and you saw it was all over the place sometimes, and the notes were really close together. We'll talk about the notes being close together and note speed on a different Prosekai stream. But that's going to be it for Hatsune Miku tonight. I will say, one of the things that I wanted to also bring in about musical connection and skills, the crossovers that I experience here as well, is while I was studying music in college, we had rhythms and aural skills. And a lot of what I talked about already up to now, aural skills and music comprehension, helps with like sight reading or just getting through even familiar pieces like in Project Sekai. But the rhythms that we did, we'd usually have to like pat them sometimes on our lap with our two different hands so that we can get used to alternating rhythms between our different hands and such like that. So this rhythm could be really slow while this one is doing a really active one. And so that learning that I had in college, did I know it was going to translate to Hatsune Miku Japanese rhythm game? No, but I'm glad that I can pull those skills into playing it. So it really helps with the with me playing with my thumbs and, separating my two different thumbs, and it allows me to not be thrown off as much when it comes to my each individual thumbs having a different rhythms from each other. So that's another thing that I found really helpful and a useful skill, and the crossover between learning an instrument, practicing an instrument, and practicing your skills on Project Sekai. It's just really neat how like those functions are there. They might not be hidden, but unless you like think about it and think about, wait a minute, what is this familiar to? You may just gloss over it and it's right in front of you. Like it may be obvious or may not be obvious, but hopefully I've helped kind of surfaced up some of those connections for you. So yes, that's going to be it for Project Sekai for tonight's stream. We got into a good helping, and hopefully I've given you somewhat of a good introduction of what this game is, a little bit about the world of Vocaloid and some of the main actors within it. So this, we will be revisiting it again very soon. So this was the first one for tonight's stream, but we will be streaming again this Friday, May 9th at 6 p.m. and we will be doing a part 2 of Project Sekai. So please, if this stream interests you at all, or if there's more you want to explore and you're curious about with this game, if you haven't already downloaded the app yourself, please tune in to this Friday's bonus stream where we're going to be doing a little bit more into Project Sekai. I laid the foundation about what things I saw kind of cross over, but, we'll probably be getting deeper into gameplay when we play on Friday. So please consider tuning in to that stream this Friday, May 9th at 6 p.m. here on the WDAV YouTube channel. And before our next stream, please consider checking out our existing MMG content in our MMG YouTube playlist. It has all of the previous streams that we did since we launched MMG, as well as fun highlights and such within the playlist. And if you liked tonight's stream on rhythm games, well, we just recently did a stream about 2 weeks ago called Melatonin, which it was another rhythm game. It was different than this, but it still had things where we had to call back that musical skill from, learning an instrument or just spending time reading and listening to music. So if you enjoyed some of the concepts that were within this stream here, consider looking at our melatonin stream that we had 2 weeks ago. And it should be all the way down at the bottom of the MMG playlist. You should be able to find it here. I'm doing all this. Let's have some, you may be tuned out in terms of like we heard a lot of the pro sekai music, but let's bring in some of our chill MMG music that we're used to hearing. So let's bring that back in. Let's listen to some of that music. If I can get it to play. Let's see. Maybe I can't get it to play. Who knows? We're gonna listen to some music to end the stream. We will. Let's see. Alrighty. There we go. I finally got the music together. Have no fear, the music is here. Music is never always completely gone from us. There we go. I realized I was talking and we didn't have some chill beats underneath it. Cause as much as I love the music from Hatsune Miku, sometimes if you're not ready for it, it can be very, very high energy. So yes, I just want to repeat again why I said it. Check out this coming Friday stream, May 9th at 6 p.m. It's our bonus stream where we'll be doing a part 2 of Project Sekai Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage. And consider checking out our MMG playlist on our YouTube channel. It should be under the playlist tabs and it will say Musical Mind Games. And check out our Melatonin stream, which was another rhythm game. And that latest stream should be all the way at the bottom of the playlist because it's in chronological order. So make sure to check that out, but also check out the other streams while you're in that playlist. In the highlights, there are plenty of cool things to check out in there too. But just check that playlist, that Musical Mind Games playlist on our YouTube channel, the WDAV YouTube channel, which is where you're watching this right now. If you enjoyed my commentary and some of the things that I've had to offer and wondering where else you can hear my musical insights, well, I've got a shift from 4 to 6 on Sundays here on our on-air programming at the station at WDAV. So you can listen to that through the app or through a regular radio or your car radio or something like that. And you can also catch previous shifts of mine and other announcers at the station by checking the archive that we have on our website at wdav.org/archive by going to that. So thank you all so much for joining tonight's stream. I'm Kristen Crumpler, and I'll catch you in the next stream. Bye!